Like in Massachusetts, the head of the Guards Union, when you talk about rehabilitative programs, he refers to rehabilitative programs as coddling prisoners.
Yeah.
And then talks at the other side of his mouth about public safety. That's not being smart on crime.
No, it's not being
Taking
smart on
somebody,
crime.
taking a brat and turning him into a killer is not being smart on crime. And when you take an individual, you put him in jail, he's a drug addict. You torture him and you turn him into a vicious person. He comes out in the street and kills somebody. He's responsible for his behavior,
Absolutely.
but so is the
So is the
administration.
administration that done it.
You put him in the condition. that cause death.
Connecticut has seen that. Cheshire, Connecticut, the horror that happened to Dr. Price and the family, it's demonstrated these were drug people and that had been abused and everything and then turned loose and became unbelievable mayhem killers. And we know from Massachusetts, oh God bless you, you know better than probably most people what happened when Dr. Miller got rid of one of the reform schools were horrible institutions that did what? That did nothing but make major killers, okay, for how many years did they,
Joe Barboza, the Bear, all the major contract killers in
Right.
Massachusetts were products of the reform school.
every single one of them.
And when Jerome Miller shut them places down, that link got broken.
Yeah, and okay, you know, and
That link
that's,
came apart.
yeah, and it's amazing, and we know that those things are the seed that does this, and we're not
Here's
changing.
the thing, Russ. We know rehabilitation works.
Yeah.
We know how to rehabilitate. But we don't have a vested interest in the Department of Corrections to rehabilitate prisoners.
No, they don't.
They're not gonna put themselves out of work. They're interested in command and control. And the shame is that the National Institution of Correction has entirely too much power, and it controls all the correctional institutions across this country. And if a correctional institution anywhere in this country does not dance to the tune of NIC, they don't get federal corrections money. And even the devil dances for gold.
Yeah.
And that's the nature of the beast. They do not have vested interest in rehabilitating prisoners. We know how to rehabilitate prisoners. The games that are played, right, the average John Q. citizen doesn't understand. The media projects that only the worst of the worst are here. And whenever you talk about prisoners, they all, releasing prisoners, they always raise the most violent and most heinous individual who's never coming to the street.
Exactly, right.
Number one.
And number one, they're never gonna get out.
That 3%
Right,
that is never getting out, that's who they're talking about.
right.
The 97% is the reality.
It's right.
97% of these people are coming to the street. How do you want them back in the street?
Right.
Better or worse than they went in? They can come out productive citizens. The classic example is in Norfolk Prison in Massachusetts. Boston University, out of their own pocket,
Right.
set up a master's degree program. For 3 years, had a zero recidivism rate.
Yeah.
These individuals that participated in that program, no cost to the state, went out on the street and became law-abiding, productive, tax-paying citizens. Excuse me, what's wrong with that?
Not a thing.
Why did you kill the Pell Grants?
Make no sense.
The right-wing, ultra-conservative, law and order idiots talking about getting tough on crime, which never worked, it was a mistake, killed the Pell Grants. Education doesn't work for everybody, but for those that it does work for, become law-abiding, productive citizens. And vocational training works for the rest.
Yeah, vocational training works. You give somebody hope and a good job and a way to do, you've
Well,
answered the
here's
question.
what happens, when you start talking about this, right? The media will go out and find somebody who will get up and say, well, why should a prisoner get a college education when I can't? When I hear that, I say, stop.
Exactly.
Separate it. You're talking about two separate issues. that you're overlapping and killing both. Right? Separate it. We'll get to the citizens in a minute. Rehabilitation works, education is a workable rehabilitative tool. This guy gets educated and trained, he doesn't come out and rob you and your family. It works, okay? Put him to the side. Every citizen in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I'll use Massachusetts as an example, should receive free education, right, up to the 2-year college level. If the individual maintains a certain level of competency, then he should be able to go to a master's degree.
I agree.
If they maintain that same level of competency, they should go to a PhD if they choose to.
They choose.
What's that gonna do? That's gonna build your society.
Absolutely.
That's not competition, that's building your society.
It's gonna make
So, the state schools,
you're gonna
state
get
colleges,
taxes and
exactly.
great money from a guy.
And you don't
Don't
gotta
put him
pay
anywhere.
to put him in jail
Yeah,
for
right.
$40-something thousand a year to keep him in prison, to
Absolutely.
come out worse than he went in.
No kidding,
The money that would be saved is unbelievable.
it is.
And you make productive citizens out of people. You can educate both. You can educate the prisoner and you can educate
Your
people in
citizen,
society
and your
for
common
free.
citizen.
And the higher degree of education that your population has, the more productive your society is going to
Greater
be.
your society, absolutely.
What's the issue? The problem is the right-wing law and order overlap concepts and blind one with the other. All right? Education works. Education is a valid rehabilitative tool. When they kill the Pell Grants, so the prisoners shouldn't get Pell Grants, then you say rehabilitation works. Well, why don't you bring the Pell Grants back? If now you're selling the line that rehabilitation works, and education is a valid rehabilitative tool, why don't you bring the Pell Grants back?
You need to bring the Pell
Yeah,
Grants.
and like the colleges can use the money,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? And you could also give colleges tax credit for training
For training
prisoners,
prisoners, right.
and give free education
Well,
to your
it's,
citizens.
absolutely, I obviously believe in that, you know I have for years. And I also believe in the tech schools for those who can't make it at a certain level. I believe in apprenticeship programs and under union stuff and everything that can give people the hope and the things that they need to survive.
Listen, they take programs inside of making license plates. I mean, license plates are only made in prisons.
That's right.
So if I become an efficient license plate maker, the only way I gotta go to prisons. All right? Small engine training and all this other crap. Here's something that I had proposed before. In Massachusetts, you have around 600 lifers and a bunch of long-termers who are equal to lifers, right? If you took the lifers and long-termers, those that are qualified, capable of doing it, all of them aren't, obviously, but enough of them are capable of being given master's degrees in education. Become master plumbers, electricians, carpenters, masons, all right? So there's an initial expense involved, but you can get training schools to come in with tax credits and train these people. All right? Now, what happens is, these people train and teach other prisoners. The prisoners are gonna go out and become union members.
Yeah.
The union should be fully
They
behind
should be
this.
totally behind
But the
this.
thing is this, the state saves money because these prisoners now maintain the prison.
Right.
All right? And if you pay them a minimum wage, and people get all shocked and blah, 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 you want to make a prisoner that doesn't have a nickel pay $5 for co-payment for being in prison.
Every day, right?
He doesn't have any
He doesn't
money to
have
give
any
you,
money.
so you're spitting in the wind.
Right.
If you give this guy minimum wage, he's taking care of your prison, keeping it function. He's now, what with minimum wage? He's paying tax.
Yeah. He's paying taxes.
And you could tax a
Saving
certain-
you a ton of money for
Yeah, he
contracting.
can take a certain portion of his money and pay